Well, this is a web page with a very interesting, weird name, antsinpants.com. Uh, but it has a page here on the Nikola Tesla Museum, and it has quite a few pictures in it. But as I scroll down, this is where I found these photographs of his two-phase synchronous four-slip ring output generator. See, everybody thinks that this was the machine that he was famous for, the induction motor. This is a two-phase induction motor where you got one phase current and another phase current that are 90 degrees out of phase, and as one energizes, the other de-energizes, and they just end up switching back and forth. And there's coils inside the rotor, and they usually short circuit the electric current into the rotor as well for a stronger torque. But the machine that Tesla should have been famous for was this one. This is his two-phase AC synchronous output generator. It's got four slip rings, and these slip rings are connected to the four ends of two coils that are 90 degrees to each other, okay? And these two outer stator coils are excited by a DC current. Or you could have, say, connected to the armature a small DC motor that would spin in sync with the rotor here that would cause a self-excitation of these coils for the two-phase output. So if you can kind of picture this machine, back in the time when Tesla thought this machine up, people thought that there was no way to control alternating current. There was no practical motor that could run on alternating current. There was no practical, real way of turning direct current into alternating current. There was only direct current dynamos and direct current generators that could be reversed in for a motor and a generator. They could play both roles, and nobody thought that there was any way of doing alternating current. But Tesla proved otherwise, because he was able to take out, because this is the same thing as a universal AC motor, where if you have a commutator and you have a bunch of coils that are all wound with connected to that commutator, you can have a universal motor that you can connect to DC, it'll spin. You can connect it to AC, it'll spin the same way. It runs both on AC and DC. But Tesla, in 1882, he thought up this machine where he would have two stator coils, two rotor coils, but instead of a commutator, he would have four slip rings connected to the four ends of these two coils, and they would have an output. As long as he was able to control the DC current that was going into these stator coils, he could control the alternating current of the two-phase output slip rings. And this is the first time in history where somebody actually thought of a way to connect DC current directly to the output into AC current. See, everybody thought that this was not possible at that time. In 1882, nobody thought that this was possible. But Tesla was able to envision this machine, and I'm not sure if he was ever able to build one, but they have built one in this museum, at the Tesla Museum in Belgrade. And it seems like everybody is just more interested in his wireless technology that is still incomplete. But if we really want to understand his mindset, we really need to go back and we need to picture how he was able to imagine and think up and invent this machine right here, because it really is the bread and butter of his work right here. These machine this machine right here can and run a another stator coils with a and create a rotating magnetic field that's in sync with the rotating of this rotor, because you have these four slip rings that are connected to these two coils, and as one coil crosses the lines of force, it makes for the electric induction to turn directly into a rotating field. So um, I'm I'm not sure how much torque this output gives versus this input right here, because you're going to be putting an input into these stator coils here with DC current. And the stronger the DC current you put into these stator coils and you turn this, the more torque you're going to get into the rotating field for the four slip ring output. Now, if there was some way to build this machine and test this with a DC current meter for the input into the stator coils, and a way to test the output over here and the torque that so you would have a direct connection to DC input, mechanical motion, and electrical output over here in two-phase AC, and you can measure this. You could say, 12 volts of DC input to these coils, and as you spin at say 3000 RPM, you get 480 volts rotating magnetic field with so much amount of torque output, and you could record this down. So and you could have basically an archive of how much electrical torque you can get with direct DC input for, and you can also make a note on how strong these magnetic fields are with the DC current input. See, this machine allows for a wide open range of a massive amount of electrical testing when it comes to input, output, and how much torque you're getting from electrical induction, how much electricity is you're using to get that torque from the. I mean, all this can be measured with this machine just by measuring the input current, how much torque you're getting in these four coils, and the output current you get in two-phase AC power with these two circuits right here. Like, this is one circuit, this is another circuit. The blue is one, the red is another. And instead of having a rotating field, you can just have these be straight, just one phase of electricity, another phase of electricity. This would be one plug, this would be another plug that you could plug something into. So this is the same thing, this rotating field that these two circuits would be making from this machine rotating from a direct current input to the stator coils. You could get two-phase AC electricity output in it right here. And if you have this going at enough cycles per second, you could power something with one of these circuits. Or you can make a direct rotating magnetic field with two-phase AC with four coils connecting each circuit with this would be one winding, and then it would go over here, and then it would be this winding, and then this would be the other end of that circuit, and same with the blue. This would be one end of the blue circuit, and this would be the other end of the blue circuit. So you could make a direct rotating. That's what Tesla proved with this machine, that he could make a rotating magnetic field directly from AC current, and nobody thought that was possible either. So he kind of proved with this one machine that you can connect a DC current input to AC output, and you can have a motor run directly from AC current with two-phase AC current output. So that's why I want to point out this machine that seems to be overlooked, and everybody seems to think that this one is the more important one, but I respectfully disagree. I think this is the more important machine that he invented that really should be re-looked at and used in testing of electrical um, input and output currents to see how much DC current you can put into this thing and how much torque you can get out of this and how much two-phase AC power you can get from just by having this spin with a DC input connected to it. Or you could have a DC generator that's connected to the rotor shaft and spins in sync with this rotor for and has like a self excitation um, uh, part to it for the direct current input. There's so much potential you can do with this machine. It's really worth looking at, and hopefully whoever's watching this video will agree with me and and hopefully can build one of their own, because I can't not find this machine anywhere for sale online. I can't even hardly find any pictures of it. It is this machine is so incredibly difficult to find. I'm surprised that I even found these photographs of this machine, because for the longest time, like all I could find was these black and white photos like this, and I was the only one that had them. Like, this is my post on Reddit. I'm the only one who has photographs of this machine. I haven't seen anybody else post anything remotely close to this machine with the two-phase AC current 4-slip ring output. So maybe you could do some looking around yourself, but yeah, as far as I know, I'm the only one, and this webpage here, the Ants in Pants webpage, is the only other webpage that I have seen online that has photographs of this machine. Uh, and yeah, I can't find it anywhere else online. So, yeah, maybe you can find them yourself if you care to look. All right. Thank you very much for watching, and have a nice day.